Good evening, everybody. This is Mrs. Anju Kshirsagar from Anju Kshirsagar's biology classes. So today we are going to start with the first lesson of the NCERT 12th standard, that is reproduction in organisms. In this we'll learn introductory part, that is the meaning of lifespan. So lifespan is the period from the birth of an organism till the natural death of that particular organism. I repeat, definition of lifespan. Lifespan is the period from the birth till the natural death of that particular organism is called as its lifespan. In the next bit, we are going to compare the lifespan of different organisms. For example, rose will survive for 7 to 8 years. Dog will survive for 10 to 18 years. Butterfly will survive for 1 to 2 weeks, that is 7 days to 16 days only. Amongst the whole list, butterfly is having the least lifespan, that is only 1 to 2 weeks. Crow will survive for 15 years. Banana plant will survive for 25 years. Cow will survive for 120 to 125 years. Parrot will survive for 140 years. Crocodile will survive for 16 years. Horse will survive for 25 to 30 years. Fruit fly will survive for 40 to 50 days only. After the butterfly, the second least is the fruit fly, which will survive for 40 to 50 days. Rice will survive for 7 months. Tortoise will survive for 100 to 150 years. Banyan will survive for 300 to 310 years. Peepal tree will survive for 2500 years, that is 2500 years, and mango plant will survive for 300 years. So these are the different kinds of organisms, plants and animals, and their lifespans. So rose 7 to 8 years, dog 10 to 18 years, butterfly 1 to 2 weeks, that is 7 days to 16 days, crow 15 years, banana plant 25 years, cow 120 to 125 years, parrot will survive for 140 years, crocodile will survive for 16 years, horse will survive for 25 to 30 years, fruit fly will survive for 40 to 50 days only, rice will survive for 7 months, tortoise will survive for 100 to 150 years, banyan 300 to 310 years, peepal tree will survive for 2500 years, highest amongst the list, and mango will survive for 300 years. So just now we compared the different lifespan. So in the comparison of the lifespan, we saw that some plants and animals, that is some organisms, are having the short lifespan and some organisms are having the long lifespan. So for example, short lifespan ones, butterfly 1 to 2 weeks, fruit fly 40 to 50 days. Longer lifespan organisms, that is mango 300 years, peepal tree 2500 years. So there are some organisms having shorter lifespans and some organisms are having the longer lifespans. Notice in the above comparative study that there are two extremes, that is some having shorter ones and some having longer lifespans, and all the remaining organisms will fall under these two extremes, that is smaller lifespan organisms and larger lifespan organisms. All other organisms will be in between these two extremities. All the other life organisms are categorized. So till now you came to know that meaning of lifespan, that is the period from the birth till the natural death of an organism. Second, you came to know different organisms having the different lifespans. And next you came to know that some organisms are having shorter lifespans and some are having the longer lifespans, and the two extremes, that is between the smaller lifespans and between the larger lifespans, all other in between lifespans are categorized. One neat point we'll be discussing, dear students, that is the lifespans of the organisms are not correlated with their size. It doesn't mean that the larger the sized organisms, the more will be the lifespan, or smaller the size of an organism, the smaller will be the lifespan. It does not mean like that. That is the size of, for example, we'll just check out the size of the crow and parrot are almost similar, but the lifespan show a wide difference. For example, crow will survive only for 15 years and parrot will be surviving for 140 years. See the difference, wide difference between the lifespans, but the sizes almost are same. In the similar manner, mango tree and peepal tree almost of similar sizes, but their lifespans are varying widely. Mango will survive only for 300 years and peepal tree will survive for 2500 years. So sizes may be similar, the lifespans are different. Again here sizes are similar, but the lifespans are different. So one point we came to know, very important point, bear it in mind that lifespans of the organisms are not correlated with their sizes. Next bit we are learning, that is called mortality of all the individuals. Once when the individual is born, it is bound to die. So whatever be the lifespan of an individual, death of that individual is certain. That is, they are bound to die. That is, no individual is immortal except the unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms do not show the mortality. They are supposed to be immortal in nature. This concept we'll discuss a bit more. Why unicellular organisms are considered immortal? Because since they are composed of single cell, their division itself means the reproduction, means they are not showing the death, but they are getting involved in the next generation. So therefore, unicellular organisms are considered as immortal, but all the other organisms which are born, which are having the lifespans, are bound to die. Next bit we are going to learn, you have seen in the nature there is a wide variety of organisms sustaining, starting from the microorganisms to the huge elephant. Different varieties of the organisms are seen, and vast number of the plants and animal species and microorganisms are existing since thousands of years. They are surviving. Notice there are vast number also, vast varieties also. They are sustaining thousands of years, and this is possible only and only because of an important and unique process that is called as reproduction. You know the meaning, that is re means again, production means producing. So this is a process called as reproduction. Because of the reproduction, vast number and vast varieties of the plants are